The story begins in a dense forest where a man is running like a madman, hoping to find a way out. But the forest is so thick that there seems to be no escape. The man keeps moving forward, using the sun as his guide. However, the sun slowly begins to set. Even then, the man does not stop running. While running, he reaches a spot where a warning is written on a board. It reads "Point of no return," meaning no one can come back from there. The number 108 is also written on the board. Seeing this, the man becomes even more anxious. As time passes, darkness starts to spread. A strange fear fills the entire forest. Suddenly, all the birds fly away at once. Even after traveling many miles, the man does not see a single wild animal anywhere. It feels as if even the animals are afraid of something unknown. Terrified, the man begins to run even faster. After several hours, the man suddenly stops. His face turns pale with despair. In front of him stands the same signboard again, marked with the number 108 and the words "Point of no return." Now he realizes that no matter how far he runs, he cannot escape this forest. With no other option, he starts searching for a place to hide. But he cannot find any safe spot. In desperation, he climbs up a tree. Suddenly, the branch breaks and he falls to the ground from a great height. He is severely injured and can barely move. Before he can lose consciousness, the ground begins to shake. Strange growling sounds echo through the forest. Hearing them, his breath freezes in fear. Then suddenly, something drags him away. The figure is never shown, but his painful screams can be heard. 6 days later, the scene shifts to a girl named Mina in a city. She works at a bird shop. Her boss arrives and orders her to deliver a golden parrot to a place far outside the city. Following the instructions, Mina prepares for the journey. She gets into her car, sets the destination on her phone, and begins driving. After leaving the city, she notices a board filled with missing person posters. It suggests that many people have disappeared in that area. However, Mina ignores it and continues forward. To save time, she takes a shortcut through the forest. Soon, she reaches the same location where the man disappeared earlier. Finds herself stuck. She checks her phone, but there is no signal. Even her car radio stops working. She tries to leave, but cannot find a way out. After some time, her car suddenly breaks down. Mina steps out of the vehicle and looks ahead. In front of her stands the same board marked "Point of no return." Mina does not understand anything. Holding the parrot's cage, she walks ahead to look for help, but there is no sign of anyone nearby. After some time, she returns to the place where she had parked her car, but the car is gone. Seeing this, she becomes very worried. She starts thinking that maybe she came to the wrong place and her car is parked somewhere else, because every part of the forest looks the same. Meanwhile, the darkness continues to grow deeper. Suddenly, just like before, all the birds fly away from the trees. Mina feels a wave of fear as the ground begins to shake violently. She senses that someone is nearby. Then suddenly she notices a shadow in the distance. Mina runs toward it, trying to follow, but finds no one there. Moments later, she sees an old woman running. Mina runs after her, calling out for help. But the woman does not stop and keeps running quickly. Mina continues chasing her, but suddenly the old woman disappears again. As Mina moves further in search of her, she notices a structure deep in the forest. It looks like a large room standing alone. The old woman appears at the door, opens it, and tells Mina that if she wants to stay alive, she must come inside quickly. Without thinking, Mina runs toward the place. As soon as she enters, the door is locked behind her. Inside, she sees a strange room with a very large mirror installed on one wall. There are 2 other people with the old woman. Nervously, Mina asks where she is. The old woman replies that they call this place the Cobb. She introduces herself as Madeline, the girl as Kiara, and the boy as Daniel. Madeline tells Mina that this is not the time to talk. She urges Mina to quickly stand with them in front of the mirror because someone is about to come to see them. Confused, Mina asks who is coming, but Madeline does not answer. Suddenly, strange sounds begin to come from outside. Frightened, Mina asks about the noise. Kiara explains that they call them the Watchers. She says the Watchers observe them from the other side of the glass, but no one can see them. She further explains that they come every night after sunset and keep watching until morning. Soon, a louder noise begins from the other side of the mirror. Mina asks what it is. Madeline calmly says that the Watchers are pleased with Mina's arrival. She says they are clapping after seeing her. Mina is completely confused and overwhelmed. She just wants to leave this place as soon as possible. So far, neither Mina nor anyone else has ever seen the Watchers. The night eventually passes. In the morning, they step outside the structure. Madeline explains that the Watchers only come out at night. During the day, they are free to move around the forest. All night, Mina keeps thinking about one thing. She just wants morning to come so she can escape this forest as quickly as possible. That is why Mina immediately begins searching for a way out of the forest. Madeline stops the others from interfering, as if she already knows Mina will not be able to escape and will return. As Mina leaves, Madeline warns her that this decision is not right. She says there is no way out of the forest. She also warns that everyone must return to the house before nightfall careful. If anyone is late, they will lose their life. Mina ignores the warning and continues forward with her parrot. After walking some distance, she sees the point of no return sign again. Seeing it, she feels scared, but she gathers her courage and continues moving in the direction of the sun. Despite her efforts, she fails to escape the forest. Soon the path comes to an end. Mina realizes that she is standing on top of a mountain. From there, she can see nothing but endless forest in every direction. Filled with despair, she sits down. Suddenly, she feels a hand on her shoulder. Startled, she turns back and sees Madeline standing there. Madeline encourages her and explains that she is not the only one who tried to escape and failed. She says that they also tried and lost, and now they are trapped here. There is no way out. Madeline then tells Mina to come with her, as she wants to show her something. She leads Mina deeper into the forest. Madeline explains that the forest is like a hunter, and they are all its prey. She warns Mina that if she wants to stay alive, she must stay with them. She shows Mina several point-of-no-return signs placed in a circular pattern around the forest. Their shelter lies at the center of this circle. Madeline explains that these signs are placed about half a day's distance from their house. If someone goes beyond them, returning becomes extremely difficult. That is why they should never ignore these signs. Mina asks who created all of this. Madeline replies that it was made by a professor, but no one has ever seen him. As night falls, they return to the house. Every night, the Watchers come to observe them. That night, a girl named Kiara dances in front of them and says she enjoys it. It is not necessary for them to stand still every night. They are free to do anything, as long as they do not turn their backs toward the Watchers. If they do, the Watchers become extremely angry. At night, they only have to deal with the Watchers. But even during the day, survival is not easy. Every day, they hunt in the forest to find food and stay alive. The next day, Kiara and Mina go into the forest to hunt. Mina asks Kiara what the Watchers actually want. Kiara replies that she does not fully understand. She says Madeline believes the Watchers simply observe them. But if anyone sees the Watchers directly, they could lose their sanity because of how terrifying they look. Kiara then shows Mina a deep pit and explains that there are many such pits scattered throughout the forest. The Watchers stay inside those pits during the day and come out only at night. They cannot come out in daylight because the sunlight burns their skin. Kiara tells Mina that she came to this forest with her husband 5 months ago. Since then, both of them have been trapped here. She adds that 6 days ago, her husband went into the forest to find a way out. She still hopes that he will return and take them all to safety. It is later revealed that Kiara's husband was the same man seen at the beginning, who was dragged away and did not survive. After this conversation, they both return to the shelter. There, Madeline explains 3 important rules to Mina for staying alive. First, she must never open the door at night. Second, she must never turn her back toward the mirror at night. Third, she must never go near the pits during the day and should stay in the light as much as possible. Madeline says that as long as these rules are followed, survival is possible. However, Mina does not fully believe her. That night, she becomes curious about the Watchers. She presses her ear against the mirror, trying to hear something. When she hears nothing, she begins to think that Madeline's stories are not real. Ignoring the rules, she lies down with her back facing the mirror. This angers the Watchers, and they begin striking the mirror loudly. Madeline becomes frightened by the noise. She quickly tells Mina to turn and face the mirror. As soon as Mina does so, the noise stops, and the Watchers calm down. It becomes clear that turning their backs is seen as disrespect by the Watchers. The night passes, and the next day, Mina goes hunting with Daniel. She asks him if he has ever seen a Watcher. Daniel replies that he has never seen one. He says that anyone who sees them does not survive. Mina then shares her thoughts with Daniel. She says that she believes Madeline may be making up these stories to control them. She suggests that they should go and check the pits themselves. She thinks there might be a way out hidden there. Daniel, already frustrated with living in the forest, agrees with her. Together, they go to one of the pits. Mina ties a rope around herself and begins to climb down into the pit. Daniel holds the other end of the rope so he can pull her up if needed. When Mina reaches the bottom, she finds many human belongings scattered around. She collects them and realizes they belong to people who were taken by the Watchers. Using the rope, Daniel pulls up items like a camera, a bicycle, and other useful objects. Mina waits below for Daniel to lower the rope again so she can climb back up. But before she can leave, she hears movement inside the pit. Terrified, she urgently calls out to Daniel to lower the rope. At that moment, a Watcher's hand suddenly reaches out toward her. Mina is standing in the sunlight, so when the light touches the Watcher's hand, it begins to burn. At the same moment, Daniel throws the rope down to her. Mina quickly climbs out of the pit. She is completely terrified. They gather all the items and return to their shelter. Once inside, Madeline asks where they found all those things. They lie and say they found them in the forest. However, Madeline has been living there for a long time. She immediately understands that the items must have come from a pit. She asks Mina directly what she saw inside the pit, but Mina refuses to answer. Despite everything, Mina and Daniel feel excited. They believe that tonight they will finally see the Watchers. Mina had found a camera in the pit. Daniel manages to connect the camera to the TV so they can view what is outside. Madeline repeatedly warns them that they are making a mistake, but neither of them listens to her. That night, they wait eagerly for the Watchers. However, even as it gets very late, no Watchers appear. Soon, something unusual begins to happen. While they are talking, there is a sudden knock on the door. They quickly turn their attention to the TV. On the screen, they can see human legs standing outside. The person outside speaks in a familiar voice. It sounds exactly like Kiara's husband. He calls out and asks them to open the door quickly. Kiara becomes emotional and believes it is truly her husband. She thinks he has found a way out and returned for them. She rushes toward the door to open it, but Madeline stops her. She insists that the person outside cannot be her husband. Madeline explains that no one can reach this place at night. Kiara refuses to believe her and tries again to open the door. Madeline then tells her that it could be a trap. She advises Kiara to test him by asking something only her husband would know. Kiara asks the person outside a question about a specific book. The person fails to answer. At that moment, they realize it is not her husband, but a Watcher. When they refuse to open the door, the Watcher destroys the camera outside. It reveals that the Watchers can take on human form. Angered by their actions, the Watchers begin striking the glass violently. A large crack starts to form on the surface. Madeline quickly acts and makes everyone stand in a line facing the mirror. This calms the Watchers slightly. After some time, they leave. Later, Mina admits the truth to Madeline. She confesses that they took all the items from the pit. Hearing this, Madeline becomes furious. She says they have broken another important rule. The next morning, Madeline collects all the items they brought. She returns them to the same pit. After this, the Watchers seem to calm down a little. Soon, they begin to witness strange and unsettling things in the forest. Among them, Daniel is affected the most. He starts getting angry over small issues. His behavior becomes aggressive and unpredictable. On the other hand, Kiara had been holding on to hope that her husband was alive and would come back to save her. But now she realizes that he will never return. This truth breaks her completely. In despair, she decides to end her life by jumping into one of the Watchers' pits. Just as she is about to do it, Mina arrives and stops her. At the same time, Daniel begins to behave strangely toward Madeline. In anger, he ties her to a tree. He declares that he will no longer follow her rules. He says that from now on, everyone will follow his commands. As night approaches, Daniel runs toward the shelter. Kiara follows him. Meanwhile, Mina rushes to Madeline and starts untying her. Before they can reach the shelter, Daniel locks the door from inside, leaving Mina and Madeline outside. They beg Daniel to open the door. They plead with him, but he refuses to listen. Darkness spreads across the forest. It is now time for the Watchers to come out. With no other option, Mina and Madeline hide under a dense tree to survive. Soon they begin to hear the terrifying growls of the Watchers. For the first time, glimpses of the Watchers are seen. They appear tall, thin, and extremely dangerous. They emerge from their pits and move toward the shelter. When they realize that Mina and Madeline are not inside, they begin searching the forest for them. After some time, the Watchers move away. Taking this chance, Mina and Madeline rush back to the shelter. They cry and beg Daniel once again to open the door. This time, Daniel hesitates and finally opens it. Once inside, Madeline first scolds Daniel for his actions. Then she makes everyone stand in front of the mirror. She explains that they have broken too many rules. Because of this, she fears the Watchers may not forgive them anymore. Madeline then reveals a shocking truth. She says that when she first arrived in the forest, she saw something unbelievable. She saw a duplicate of herself. It was actually a Watcher trying to take her form. However, its eyes and hair were not perfectly matched. Mina asks what these Watchers really are. Madeline explains that they are ancient beings similar to fairies that once lived among humans. These beings had magical abilities and wings, but over time, humans began to fear their powers. As fear grew, humans decided to eliminate them. Since humans were greater in number, the fairies could not stand against them. Long ago, humans captured these fairy-like beings and imprisoned them in a massive pit deep within the forest. They sealed the pit with a curse, trapping them there forever. For hundreds of years, the creatures remained underground. Over time, they slowly dug tunnels and created ways to escape. Now, these same beings emerge from the pits as the Watchers. After living underground for centuries, they lost their wings and most of their magical powers. They also became sensitive to sunlight. However, they still retained the ability to change their form. Hearing this, Daniel asks Madeline what the Watchers actually want and why they observe them every night. Madeline explains that the Watchers want to leave the forest and live among humans again, but they cannot survive in their original form. That is why they keep humans trapped there. By observing them, the Watchers try to copy their appearance and behavior. Their goal is to perfectly imitate humans and blend into society. While Madeline is explaining this, the Watchers suddenly return. When they realize that Mina and Madeline are back inside the shelter, they become furious. They begin trying to break the door. In panic, the four of them drag a table and place it against the door to block it. But the Watchers are extremely strong. It becomes clear that the door will not hold for long. They feel as if death is right in front of them. During the struggle, the carpet on the floor shifts aside. When they remove it, they discover a large iron gate underneath. They quickly open it and find a hidden bunker below. Without wasting time, they climb inside and shut the gate above them. Inside the bunker, they are shocked. They had no idea such a place place existed beneath the shelter. The bunker is fully equipped with supplies. There is enough food to last for a very long time, along with a computer and other essential items. Mina becomes curious about who built this place. She turns on the computer to find answers. The system contains a large amount of stored data. From it, they learn that the entire structure was built by Professor Martin. The professor was aware of these creatures and wanted to study them. To carry out his research, he created this bunker. He used money to lure people into working in the forest. At night, he would leave them in the shelter above while he hid safely in the bunker. The Watchers would then take those people. In a recorded video, Professor Martin explains that during his research, he discovered a unique Watcher. Unlike the others, this one could come out even in daylight. He reveals that the creature had taken the perfect form of a little girl, making it impossible to recognize. It behaved normally and did not harm him. The professor eventually brought it to the bunker. He then turns the camera, revealing that he had trapped the creature in a cage while it was in the form of the little girl. I do not know what kind of experiment the doctor was planning to perform on it. There is a computer in the bunker. It contains many recorded videos, each revealing different information. Mina wants to understand everything that happened. She decides to play the final recording. In it, she sees the professor preparing to end his life along with the captured creature. Before dying, he explains a way to escape the forest. He says that anyone trapped there can find the exit by following the direction in which the birds fly during the evening. In his recorded message, he also says that if someone manages to escape, they must go to his university and destroy all his research. He admits that coming there was a huge mistake. After finishing the recording, the professor goes upstairs. Soon, 2 gunshots are heard. It is understood that he first killed the creature and then himself. That night, the group feels hopeful for the first time. They believe they have finally found a way out of the forest. The next morning, they step out of the bunker. They see that their shelter has been completely destroyed by the Watchers. Now they have no place to hide at night. They realize they must leave the forest today or they will not survive. They begin moving in search of the exit. The professor had mentioned birds that fly in the evening, but they decide not to wait that long. Mina releases the bird she has with her. They begin walking in the direction it flies. Along the way, they come across a grave. After seeing it, Madeline says that there was a time when these beings lived among humans, but humans betrayed them and left them abandoned in the forest. After traveling for many hours, they finally reach a river. There, they find the professor's boat. Seeing it fills them with hope. However, their relief is short-lived. Darkness begins to fall, and it is time for the Watchers to appear. Before they can escape, they hear a voice calling for help from behind. When they turn around, they see Kiara's husband. He appears badly injured and is asking for help. The others quickly get onto the boat. Daniel goes back alone to help him. He starts bringing Kiara's husband toward the boat, but from a distance, the others notice something terrifying. The person Daniel is helping is not human. It is a Watcher. In front of them, it takes Daniel's form. They are unable to do anything. The Watcher then kills Daniel. The others realize that the Watchers cannot cross the river. Taking advantage of this, they push the boat forward and escape. They finally cross the river and reach the city. But the real twist comes after this. Once in the city, the 3 of them go their separate ways. After a few days, Mina goes to Dr. Martin's university. She intends to destroy all his research, just as he had requested. Mina then finds a tape recorder in the office. From it, she discovers a shocking new truth. Thousands of years ago, humans and fairies lived together peacefully. They even formed relationships and had families. Children born from humans and fairies were called halflings. These halflings had a rare ability. They could perfectly change their form, even taking the appearance of dead people. The professor believed that when humans trapped fairies inside forest forts, the halflings began hiding among humans by disguising themselves. He thought they were still living among humans today in different forms. While investigating in the professor's office, Mina finds photographs that shock her. In one of the pictures, the woman standing with the professor is Madeline. She realizes something unbelievable. Madeline is actually the professor's wife. Confused, Mina cannot understand why Madeline never told them the truth. To clear her confusion, she goes to Kiara and explains everything. She says that Madeline is Professor Martin's wife, but she never revealed it because she is not human. Mina believes Madeline is actually a shape-shifting fairy. Mina also explains that her research shows Madeline, the professor's wife, died of cancer many years ago. Hearing this, Kiara asks who the Madeline in the forest really was. Mina realizes the truth. She says the professor was deeply heartbroken after his wife's death. He wanted to bring her back at any cost. When he discovered shape-shifting fairies, he captured one that had taken the form of a little girl. He forced it to transform into his dead wife, Madeline. This fairy was different from the others. It could even survive and move during daylight. Mina says she has already called Madeline there. She believes they must somehow send her back to the forest. At that moment, a car arrives outside. When Mina sees the person stepping out, she is shocked and speechless. It is Kiara. This means the person with Mina all this time was not Kiara. It was Madeline, who had taken Kiara's form. As soon as the real Kiara enters the house, Madeline transforms again and takes the form of Kiara's husband. She then knocks Kiara unconscious. Mina realizes realizes the horrifying truth. Madeline asks what she wants. Angrily, Madeline reveals her past. She says she is the most unique among the fairies. Since childhood, she was always treated differently and mocked by others. She was never accepted by her kind because she was not like them. She was left alone in the forest. All she ever wanted was to leave the forest and live among humans. Then one day the professor arrived. He captured her in a cage. He promised her freedom if she took the form of his wife. She agreed to his deal. The professor taught me everything about Madeline. Later, that same deceptive professor tried to kill me, but before he could succeed, I killed him instead. You humans were never trustworthy, and you never will be. Now that you know my truth, you must die as well. After killing you, I will live among humans in your form. Saying this, Madeline transforms into Mina and begins to strangle her. At that moment, Mina speaks and tries to stop her. She tells Madeline that the professor never explained why she can survive during the day. The truth is that she is a hybrid, half human and half fairy. That is why she can exist in both human society and the fairy world. Mina says she understands what it feels like to be alone, but Madeline is not the only halfling in existence. There are others like her living among humans in different forms. As soon as Madeline hears this truth, her body begins to change. She slowly returns to her original form. Wings begin to grow from her back. She releases Mina and flies away into the sky. Some weeks later, Mina is shown living peacefully with her sister. She tells her sister that she still feels like the fairy might be chasing her. Her sister comforts her and tells her not to be afraid. She says nothing like that is going to happen. In the final scene, a little girl is seen standing outside Mina's house. It is revealed that she is Madeline, now living among humans in a new form. And with that, the story comes to an end.